So I'm going to be embossing this panel first of all. I've cut everything down to size. This is a 6x6 folder. What you can usually tell which way round the embossing is by the print on the front. So if you to emboss this with the print upright, or your cardstock, whichever cardstock is facing, that's the way the emboss is going to be. The deboss will be the other side of the paper, just in case you decide you want to emboss something that's patterned or coloured or whatever it may be. But when it's white and white, it doesn't matter. So for my big shot, I've got two options. Now, many embossing folders will go just onto the green plate and then the clear plate on top. But this one is ever so slightly, I want a slightly deeper emboss, okay, so it's slightly thinner embossing folder. So I'm going to do the two clear plates together, but this does add a lot of pressure, okay. It works, but it adds a lot of pressure, and that just means that once I get through the other end, we get a big clunk. So I'm trying to do it slowly and carefully. There we go, so as not to clunk too much. And you would not believe the emboss that we've got. So you can find all of these on CraftStash. Like I say, there's comments pinned. So you've got a comment for YouTube and for Facebook telling you exactly where you can find these. Look at that emboss. Isn't that just absolutely beautiful? Now I'm going to take a little bit of our repositionable masking tape, low tack tape we're calling it. And I'm just going to pop this just on one edge where I'm not going to be doing anything, and fold that over the folder just to keep that in place. The reason being is because I would like to run this back through again in a minute, just to make sure that while I've been working and adding colour, if there's any embossing that's flattened out, I want to bring it back to life. So I'm going to do that. Lots and lots of you commenting. Good morning from Wisconsin. Hello to you, Mary Beth. Jane, yeah, it's beautiful embossing, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. I must pop over to the other channel and allow this to load so I can say hello to a few of you. Mama Bear Marie on YouTube, always good to support a charity. Absolutely. For those of you just joining us, 10% of the profits from any of the RSPB collections do go to the charity. So, you know, you're kind of helping charities at the same time. So I've got my berries and my leaves and things there. I'm just going to bring in a mat here, and I'm going to use, what colour shall I use? Here we go, speckled egg. So I kind of like, I think the name just works, doesn't it? Speckled egg with the theme here. We don't have to use this particular colour, but it works anyway. I'm going to put a couple of sprays of speckled egg distress oxide spray on my mat. I'm also going to water it down ever so slightly with paintbrush. Oh, look, I've got purple in my paintbrush. Oh well, it'll give it a slightly different colour. Never mind. And I'm just going to do an area around here, just kind of almost like a watercolour splat or splodge. Not too much. Just a blob. Just like this. Keeping more to the left-hand side. I'm going to put some more in there because the hope is that that will actually kind of just start to, it finds its level, doesn't it? And hopefully you can see there already, it just starts to sit slightly darker around the embossing. Now the thing is, I'm going to flick a few. I know so many of you have said you're scared of flicking. Honestly, just get a piece of scrap paper and have a go. Flicking ink or paint or something like that. And that's just going to fade that circle out a little bit better. There we go. Okay, I'm allowing that to sit for a moment, allow the liquid to find its own level while I clean up, get my wipes out. Actually, I've got had a piece of kitchen towel and it's gone. Do you know where I think it's gone? I think it's gone on the floor and it's rolled. So I'll have to get a wet wipe instead. We'll get one of these and clean that up. I try not to use wet wipes because of course they're not recyclable. The paper towels, they sort of disintegrate a little bit easier, don't they? There we go. Wipe that, clean that all away. Now, that is looking pretty good. What I'm going to do now is bring in my heat tool. There we go, and just dry this off. I'm keeping it not too close, keeping a distance, just because I don't want to affect the embossing folder at all, which I shouldn't do. But I want to ensure that that is just drying the paint and not affecting the paper on the embossing folder. Now, when you add liquid moisture of any sort, whether it's paint, sprays, water, to any project with paper, the paper fibres are going to absorb that liquid, as it has done, and you'd expect that to happen, but it's also going to cause them to kind of fluff up, and that means you could lose a little bit of your embossing detail. So it's entirely up to you afterwards whether you would like to then, I'm going to have to find that kitchen towel, I can see it, I'm going to have to reach, you won't see anything honestly, but I'm going to have to reach down and grab it. But you're going to have to then decide whether you want to re-emboss that image. So I've got my kitchen towel. It just rolled away under the desk. So just lift off the excess there. Now I can see I've still got a lot of detail there, but if you wanted to, you could then fold the folder, because this is why, although it's static, look at that. Fold the folder. This is why we've taped it in place. We can then run that through and that will give us that emboss again. Okay, so this time, because I'm not worried about the really deep emboss, I'm just worried about making sure that I capture that detail once more. I'm just going to run it through very quickly, like so, just with that thin plate. Oh, it's a big desk to be leaning over. There we go. Okay. So beautiful details. So hopefully you can see where some of the darker areas caught on with the paint. Now that's our background. Let's carefully peel away this low tack tape, very carefully. Beautiful. Really nice low tack tape that one is. I assume we've still got it in stock, but you get the dispenser and 3 rolls, and it was something like $4.99. It's definitely the time to be stocking up your stash from CraftStash. We've got the paper, we've got the glue, we've got the rolls of tape and all sorts. So let's start building the card. I'm making a mess already. You wish it was warmer here. Is that following on? Oh, there we go. Amanda Marlowe has said hi from sunny, warm Spain. Hello to you. Not jealous at all. It's turned here now, hasn't it? It's definitely hit winter here in the UK now, certainly in Suffolk, where I am. I went out this morning and it was still dark. It was still dark when I got home, which is unusual. Usually by the time I get home, the sun's come up, but no, it was still dark this morning. I got attacked this morning on my run by a German Shepherd puppy who thought he wanted to play. But the funny thing is I hadn't seen him, it was dark, and I hadn't seen that he was being walked along the trees beside me. And he just come bounding up. Oh my goodness. I actually did use a word that I can't repeat right here because he made me jump so much, and he was so happy to see me. Anyway, my point is it's getting dark in the mornings. It's much darker in the mornings. So I'm using with this glue the wider end, which just means much larger glue application, much quicker. Wonderful to use. You can see it's just sticking beautifully there and not warping my paper as well. You're not, because you're spreading, I suppose it's a spreader, that's a good word. It's a glue spreader. But it just means that you are spreading that glue. You're not going to have the large blobs of glue that are going to warp your paper and crinkle it up and things like that. So there's our background. Let me see. Beautiful. I'm not sure you mean spleen. Fifi Stamper. Never seen this done while still in the folder. Intrigued. Oh, it's just so that I can re-emboss it if I need to, because the water is absorbed, the moisture is absorbed by the paper. It means the fibres fluff up. You can lose a little bit of the detail then, so you're just re-embossing it. That's all. But yeah, it's really nice actually if you want to do that and then you want to add some embossing ink to your folder and go through it again, things like that. I'd love to know what you meant instead of spleen though, Fiona. Scrap paper scissors. Oh, okay. You did a little bit of a typo as well, did you? With birds in the card, no, on the card. Okay, I'll leave you to sort that out. Right, so now I'm going to go for another CraftStash item, and that is, we've got lots of foam tapes. We've got, this one's going to be perfect. So these are items from the ephemera. Look at these. These are not Christmassy. They're not just for winter. They're going to be absolutely perfect for any year round. There's lots in there. You can see, I mean, I've used some on this card and on the next card I've put aside, and there's still loads in there. There's usually, with ephemera packs, it's usually about 20 pieces, something like that. So plenty for you to play with. This one's called a Winter Breeze. Oh, Winter Breeze actually sounds really chilly. So I'm just going to do some positioning for now, because I kind of want this curve of foliage coming round. That will go there somewhere. And then I've cut this out from one of the backing papers. This was actually the one that I grabbed earlier and then I hid away because I realised that I'd cut it out. It's not from this sheet, it's from the other sheet. Where are you? It's me being good, putting it aside, and there it is. Okay, so that has come from here. So you've got Hello Winter, which will be perfect for Christmas, for a birthday, something like that, even a winter wedding, something like that. You've got lots here. I really love this Happy Freezing Season. We've got tags as well, all sorts. Lynn, she has a 65 kilo Rottweiler next door that makes her jump occasionally. You love the effectiveness of the base, thank you. Yeah, I mean, the puppy was absolutely adorable, but my word, I used some choice words that I thought I was on my own. Okay, I'm going to admit something that's probably going to make me sound absolutely balmy. Usually when I'm out that time in the morning, very often, the only things I come across are muntjacs, birds, squirrels, rabbits, that sort of thing, because I live in the countryside. So when this small brown thing came running up beside me, and I only saw it when it was less than a metre from my leg, I thought it was a muntjac, and I thought, why would a muntjac be running at me? Well, I assumed it was coming for me, because I thought there's no other reason for this animal to come running towards me unless it felt threatened and wanted to attack me, which I'm sure they don't. But you know, when it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you're a little bit hazy because it's still early, and this happens, and I didn't see an owner. I did hear an owner a few minutes later. So I sort of thought, oh, the dog's on its own, I better sort it out. But no, the owner did shout, no, it's okay. So it was all fine. It was just, that was my thought process. It must be a muntjac trying to eat me, or something along those lines. So I've just stuck that down with some of the CraftStash foam tape. I'm going to get so many people taking the mickey out of me now, I'm sure. I am sure. Let's just pop that. And if anybody who really knows me well knows the issues I had running a couple of days ago, then you'll know that I'm just not made for exercise. Apparently, all sorts of things happen. So I'm just positioning those around there. So I kind of just want that lovely swoop with the Hello Winter underneath. So I think that's okay. I'm going to position one at a time. Ephemera is fun to use in journaling too. Sorry, Helen, I did read that incorrectly first time round. Yes, ephemera is perfect for art journaling. I think I need to go back to bed. It's brilliant. It makes nice quick pieces. Let's just pop that in there. I don't want to cover up any of the wording, so I want to make sure that I avoid covering the wording there. Will this just fit on there? It will, just wide enough. So we've got all sorts of offers at CraftStash at the moment. Have you seen things like we've had offers where there's 30% off of full collections? We've got free gifts as well, choices of free gifts. At the moment there's a fantastic card making magic bundle where you can then also choose an embossing folder with it. There's all sorts going on. If you go to CraftStash, go to the home page. I will show you the address as well before I go, in case any of you are completely new to us. Hello and welcome if you are. And go to the home page, and there's often a scrolling banner. Now that scrolling banner is going to have all of today's most important sort of offers and such on there, and you can click straight through to the product. But whether you're watching YouTube or Facebook, I have pinned a comment to take you straight to this. Once you're there, you can go off and you can find other things as well. Now I have die cut completely separate from this collection. I've die cut a gold circle, just using 2 nesting dies. They were actually completely different sets, but circles are circles, so I found 2 that were very similar in size, so I just got a very fine border. Michelle Moore, hello, she loves all of this, she's always watching. Hello, thank you. Oh, from Georgia. Hello, we have so many people from all over the world watching. Juliet, the colourway is beautiful, thank you so much. And splodge, Fiona meant splodge, not spleen. She has not seen my spleen, she does not know what that looks like. The splodge was lovely, or something like that. Yeah, thank you so much for confirming that. You did have me slightly worried. So here I'm going to use the glue again, but I'm going to use the fine tip applicator. and just pop round here with the glue. This is a much tackier glue than before, so it kind of grips really quickly, which I love. There we go. So that's just picking out. Now, if you're really patient and you've got a really fine foam tape, that would be great to use that. Now, that hasn't got anywhere to grip onto underneath, so I'm having to lift it up ever so slightly. And it's still circling that, but then incorporating some of the leaves under the ring. Should we call it the ring? The ring, gold ring. And lastly, I just need to grab my tweezers if I can find them. Please find them. They're the one thing I use the most and the one thing I'm always losing. And I'm going to just put a few little sequins on. I do have a pickup tool somewhere, but I do really love using my tweezers. And there we go. So this is perfect for your fine application. Without any birds, I've decided not to put birds on this one. No reason other than I just thought I would keep away from the birds for this one. I'm going to put birds on the next card. But yeah, a nice, hopefully sort of elegant Christmas wintry card. You could put some snow on the top of there as well if you wanted to really make. Should we do that? I'm going to do it. Now I've said it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to take Cosmic Shimmer Fluffy Stuff. I shouldn't suggest things to you because then I feel like I need to do them. This is amazing. If you've not seen this, I don't know if we've still got it available at CraftStash. Hope we have, but it's absolutely amazing. I'm sure many of you in the past have tried fluffy stuff before. So just a little bit top and bottom. Oh, that looks better, doesn't it? Now, the beauty of fluffy stuff is when you heat it, it fluffs. It does fluff up, and it fluffs up actually very quickly. So I'll do this. I don't know how well you're going to see this because the camera's not focused for close up today. But just allow that to start warming through, and all of a sudden it will just start to go poof, and it will go bumpy and fluffy. I'm just checking I've used the right one now because it's not fluffing yet. Where are you? Yes, I have. Yeah, I have. It's just taking its time. Probably because it's so cold in here. Oh, there we go. It's starting to fluff up. That end is. I don't know how best I can do this so you can see. Can you see that starting to come? I hope you can. It's brilliant. It does take a little while. So make sure you haven't got anything like any heat embossing also when you're using fluffy stuff. So there's one. I like that that's actually reacted with the ephemera and it's kind of curled the leaves up slightly. So the top one's done. We'll just do this bottom one as well. It's getting warm to hold. Not hot, just warm. There, fluff that up as well. I'll show you that in just a moment. Close up. It's almost dry. I'll check that at the end and just to give it another whiz if need be. But there we go. That's just... There we go. Just fluff that up.